Thanks for tuning in. So I have a theory or a set of paradigms, if you will, or a methodology around sales and marketing. And I'm going to make a pretty bold statement. My statement is as follows. I'm going to explain sales and marketing to you, the difference between sales and marketing, in a way that no one has ever done before and no one will ever do. Very bold statement, I know. But I'm hoping you'll agree or at least be intrigued enough to continue watching. Sales and marketing. Okay, so if I was to throw this question out to an audience and ask, what's the difference between sales and marketing? Well, sales is closing deals. Wrong. You've got a website and you don't need a single person there. People can come to the website and just click on buttons and close deals. It's all automated. Oh, well, sales is in person and marketing is more like sending brochures. Absolutely wrong. You go to a marketing conference, you're standing at a booth. People are coming to you all day. That's actually one of the things right there. People coming to you versus you going after them, right? That's one of the things. I mean, what I like to say, first of all, is that sales is hunting, right? Marketing is farming, right? There's a very elegant fellow who passed away, may he rest in peace. His name was Goldratt, and he developed something called TOC, Theory of Constraints. You should look it up. He's amazing. He started off teaching biophysics or biology, or essentially what he did is he studied molecules and physical particles and things, and then he juxtaposed that onto organizations and came up with this theory of organizations that actually was basically turned Fortune 500 manufacturing processes inside out. It's really amazing stuff. Theory of Constraints. Goldratt, he was a fellow in Israel at one of the universities there. Very esteemed guy, and he'll be sitting there at his desk smoking a cigar and talking about some of these things. And he liked to say that marketing, basically what marketing is putting out little seeds. Right? He says you're going hunting for ducks. Marketing, you put out little seeds. Okay? With sales, when the duck shows up, what do you got to do? Right? You got to shoot it, right? Boom. On the other hand, what happens afterwards is interesting. It's like Jeffrey Moore talking about crossing the chasm. So basically, when you're a new technology company, you start out here with a great product, and then you get 5 or 6 huge customers. HP, IBM, SAP, Oracle. All right? Okay. These guys keep you afloat, and these guys define your product. At this point, all you're doing is you can't believe that these guys have all bought on, but you're just constantly back and forth with these guys for a few years, and at the end of it, you take this little product and it comes out on the other side all nice and shiny, and hopefully commoditized. So basically, with the big guys in the beginning, and they know what the deal is, they don't mind paying the big bucks because they're getting you to customize it, they're getting you to do things that are above and beyond the call of duty, which you won't be able to do when you have 50 customers or hundreds of customers. But what happens over the course of time, you have a streamlined product that basically you want to then put onto shelves and have people just pick up. The price goes down, and the level of support and service required goes down, level of customization all goes down, and people just pick them up off here. However, going from here to here, you have this huge gap. Into this gap fell things like pen computing. Pen computing was much touted, and still used. I saw some guy outside of a Tim Hortons coffee shop with a stylus pen, and I was like, man, that dates you so bad. And he looked like he was from the 70s, man. Seriously, we had a bit of a joke, but the chasm. See, the problem with the chasm is this: the things that enabled you to succeed pre-chasm are detrimental. Not only are they different, but they're going to cause you to fail on this side. If you try on this side, if you have 50 customers. Over here, you're spending a quarter of your time with each of these guys, basically. Now, let's say you try and spend weeks with each customer. What's going to end up happening? So this is kind of out of the way, dear viewer. But what I'm trying to allude to is essentially once you've sold a customer, once you've farmed and attracted, like Goldratt would say, you've attracted the duck, right? So your sales guy comes along and he basically snipes the duck, shoots it, and it's now a customer, right? So the question then becomes, what goes on then? What happens is sales then becomes farming. I'm not going to say that marketing becomes hunting. Marketing doesn't become hunting because marketing includes sales. The hunting aspect of marketing is called sales. Because what happens is once you've trapped your little duckling, your customer, at that point he's yours and you market to him. That's it. You're touching base with him from time to time. Hey, how are things going? Hey, I heard your favorite baseball team is down in the tubes. Or how are the kids doing? Or how's the product going? And blah, blah, blah. He becomes like your buddy or some guy who you check in with. And you know what? In the back of your mind is your paycheck. And the back of his mind is his project, which you're helping to enable or whatever. And, of course, it's not a perfect world, but in a sense it is. Because it works out just fine in the end. He gets what he wants, you get what you want, you have some laughs, and it's a nice, friendly business relationship. It's a business friendship or whatever. I mean, you might have situations where you might not even like the guy you're buying from, and he might not really like you that much, but you respect each other enough, and you trust each other on a professional basis, right? You've got your customer, and I don't want to say things like you milk the customer, but essentially you attend to or you serve that customer, and it becomes more of a marketing mode. And by the way, you're sending him brochures. Hello. Hey, I saw this article. Here you go. What's that? That's what most people consider marketing. So what I'm trying to say, among other things, is that the traditional definitions of sales and marketing, brochures versus in person, it's all rubbish. Sales, you use the same tools. Marketing, you use the same tools. It can be in person. It could be over the phone. What's this scandal that took place with the Canadian Conservative Party? They had robocalls calling people. Hey, it's a sale, it's a phone call, it's telemarketing, but it's automated. Do you need a human for it to be it's like they're mindless questions because you're missing the point. Here's the difference between sales and marketing, my folks, my good folks. Sales is single, marketing is multiple. What do I mean by that? Well, marketing, you're attracting a flock of birds, right? Right? You're not going to go there with a Gatling gun and just try and spray them all. That's more marketing. What you're going to do is you're going to pick one bird and you're going to take him out. You're going to single him out, right? So if you're presenting to a board, it's a boardroom meeting, right? And if you're not working on one specific guy and attending to his agenda in the midst of all of that, you're marketing. You don't have a deal. A deal is when you have one person and he has the vision, he has the budget, he has the authority, he has the need, and he has a time frame. If he has those 5 things, you have a paycheck, and it's called a deal. On the other hand, marketing, in whatever mode, to the masses, to multiple people with an M, sales, single, marketing, plural. You're sending out ads, broadcasts, you're putting up billboards, you're just spraying stuff out there. Multiple people, you're at a trade show booth, you're one person, but your booth has a presence and 50 people a day, 80 people an hour, whatever, are coming by there. Sales and marketing. So there you go. The difference between sales and marketing. That's about it. Nice happy face. Hope you're all happy. Now, the real question is, what can you do with this knowledge? Well, as a marketing person, understand what you're trying to do. You're not trying to sell somebody something. Marketing problem, faux pas, huge, biggest marketing problem. It's almost the same with sales. It's like show up and throw up. You put together this brochure and you think it's got all the answers on it, and it's got nice shiny. It's a nice shiny PDF, as I used to tell my customers. I'm going to send you a nice shiny PDF because it's rubbish. Nobody reads them anyway. Unless you can have someone explain it one-on-one in a sales fashion, answer the guy's questions, take him through the process, help him visualize what's going on. It's rubbish. You don't just show up and you're just like an walking advertisement. Blah 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 blah. That's nonsense. So marketing, you're not trying to do anything but engage the person and create interest. You're trying to get the person to say, this sounds interesting. Let me find out more. Or, hey, this could perhaps be what we're looking for. Or he goes back to his team and he's like, hey, I just heard about this new product. And you know what? It's very interesting. We might look at something like that in Q4. What do you guys think? They'd be like, sure, let's go for a demo. You're still marketing. When your sales guy who does the demo with his sales engineer or whatever, your team figures out a specific project of these guys, a specific project, one project, you've defined it, there's one person in charge of it, he has authority to sign, he has a need, he has seen the vision of where he's going to be in the promised land once he has your solution, and he has a time frame. Hey, listen, guy, we're going to get funds in Q4, and that's November time frame or March. If you're working at Oracle, it's something crazy like March or some weird stuff like that. It doesn't matter. The point is this. There's a deal there, and it's a single person thing. Multiple marketing. So with the marketing stuff, don't get into overkill, right? Sales stuff, there's like a ton of stuff that, you know, can go wrong. Honestly, I'll just leave it at this. I guess it's room for more videos as always. As a consultant, that's my whole deal. My whole deal is to essentially tell you the time with your watch, basically, right? You've got everything you need. I'm just there to kind of point you in the right direction. I don't bring any nothing except for some knowledge and experience, because I've done this kind of stuff for big and small companies and Fortune 500s or soap sellers in Bangladesh or whatever. It's all the same stuff. Marketing, I've said before in an e-zine post, is 4 questions. Who is your customer? Where is my customer? How do I reach my customer? What do I say to my customer? Period. There's nothing more to it. And then it's doing that over a scope of range and obviously repetition and all these kinds of things. Like a big audience or right demographics, and then you're getting into metrics, but that's all you're doing, those 4 things. Sales, on the other hand, is once the marketing guys have opened the door for you, there's all kinds of stuff, because we're talking about humans. It's like the Bjork song, Human Behavior. You should check it out. Check out the lyrics to that song. If she says something like, if you have ever met or interacted with a human, you better be prepared to be confused. There's definitely no logic in human reaction and human behavior. Then she's like, sometimes they're terribly moody, sometimes they're terribly sad. So you've got personality types. You've got tire kickers. You've got guys who, they seem to be the most eager beaver, and they're like, oh my God, this is awesome, and he never buys anything. Or the guy who's the toughest to convince, and then when he actually comes on board, he's like your biggest champion. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on. Like, you want to start with the basics: vision, budget, authority, need, time frame, all kinds of stuff. But my last comment, 2 comments I'll make. Remember, once again, you've got sales and marketing. Let's put another M here. It's like the Chinese food additive. Remember, you market to create sales and then market to your customers in an ongoing fashion, right? Relationship marketing. If you're in for the one-time sale, you're a telemarketer or a broker or a snakeskin salesman and blah, blah, blah. This last step right here, going into marketing mode as a sales guy, that's the difference between a solution provider or a consultant or a relationship provider or blah, 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 a service provider, versus some guy who doesn't care if you come back again and his business is predicated around basically ripping people off. If you're scared of the guy showing up again, or you're not thinking about that, then you really need to have a situation where your customer is happy and thankful that he bought from you, right? And has no regrets. My whole thing is, if you've got any problems with my work, you don't pay, basically, you don't pay. My whole thing as a marketing consultant is, I'm not here to write nice brochures for you, and I'm not here to make you feel happy and tell you how cool everything is. I'm here to do one thing only, which is bring you customers. Increase certain metrics, if you will, in terms of sales and marketing. And if I increase that by a delta, then I want a little piece of that delta for however long I'm working with you. If I increase your sales or marketing metrics by 5% in a given month, and then you roll that out and you're like, well, we'll be making this much revenue. I'm not a greedy guy, but like my whole thing is, I want 1/3 of what I bring to the table. And I'm basically, you might call me a commission guy, but we're kind of getting out in a digression. MSM is one thing. And the last thing is, I think I called it, like I have an e-zine post called Environmental Sales and Marketing. This is all a sales guy should remember. It's a door, all right? Sales is a door, right? Marketing guy shows you the door, and he's like, there's a customer in there, there's a deal in there, there's a sale in there. Now, you go inside that door. The only thing you should be focused on is making sure that door remains open. So you show up, and you throw up or you show up and you're rude to his secretary, you show up, you don't have sufficient product knowledge, whatever, or you're too pushy, or you're just it doesn't work. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's just like going on a date, right? If you're so uptight about it, you might as well just go in and just be a consummate professional and be prepared and do what the best you can, and go in and be honest and forthright, and make sure that when you leave and when you come back knocking next time, hey, Mr. Customer, it's Tuesday, we say we could sit down and have a follow-up meeting today. His secretary doesn't blow you off by saying, sorry, George is out of town indefinitely. You don't hear from the guy for 6 months. So there you go. I hope that was interesting. Sales and marketing, single versus multiple. Marketing, sales, marketing. Sales is hunting. Marketing is farming. Sales becomes farming. Marketing is where it's at. Sales is a part of marketing. And so is advertising. Like, I had an esteemed sales mentor and boss at software sales job working for a company called Control F1 in Calgary back in 2005, Paul Buccini. You can go look up Butch Management or something like that. He runs his own consulting practice. Obviously, he's IBM for 25 years, you know, Blue Blood, all this kind of stuff. And I forget what he, I forget what I was going to say, but basically at the end of the day, I hope some of that made sense. I'm kind of getting to a point where I don't really have much to say, so open door, sales, farming, and then marketing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think, you know what, I'll have to save the Booch story for another occasion. But it's an ongoing process, folks, and you need to be learning, and you need to have your heart and soul in it. And remember, it's the hardest job in the world, sales and marketing, and it's the best job in the world. Oh, yes. He used to say every job in an organization is sales or sales support. Everything you do in a company is sales or sales support. He's right, obviously. However, what he missed out is that sales is a part of marketing. You might notice what I just did right now. I didn't try and remember what I was trying to remember. I just digressed, and it came back to me naturally. But anyhow, this is getting a bit too mystical for my own liking. I hope you found that interesting, and I'd love to hear from you in terms of comments. Anything you want, just let me know. And I'm happy to provide some assistance and kind of like wish you well on your way. Take care, and talk to you next time.